Hi there. If you're watching this, then you've just seen the approximate starting price for a logo design on my website, and you're likely in one of three categories. One, you're someone who's worked with a branding agency before, or a logo designer with as much seasoning as me, and yes, I do dye my beard to hide the greys now, in which case that price will be no surprise to you, and you can just go ahead and hit that next button, tell me all about your project, and I can't wait to work with you. Two, the price was so expensive that it made you spit your drink out, and you're here kind of out of curiosity as how I could have the audacity to charge that much for a logo. Or three, the price was a little bit more than you were expecting, and you're kind of on the fence about moving forward. If that's you, then allow me to explain how I got to that price point, or at least try and convince you on why spending a bit more on your logo design is probably in your best interest. Now, firstly, don't be disheartened. If your project ticks a box for me personally, for instance, you're a cool or unusual brand that needs an out-of-the-box solution, or a charity that's close to my heart, then I might be inclined to lower my prices. However, there is usually a wait list, so if we do work together, just bear in mind that it could be a few months or even a year before we can get started. You've probably heard of the good, fast, cheap triangle, right? Same applies here. Unfortunately, you can't have all three, but do get in touch and we can have a conversation about it, because I've got a couple of solutions that might just work for you. Now, the next thing to note is I don't bill for my time. Your price is determined by the final product, a beautiful logo that you're proud of that'll stand the test of time, plus a set number of revisions to achieve it. I don't bill for the hours that it took me to complete it. I'm charging for the end result. So the good news is that unless there are any massive complications, that price is fixed for you. It won't spiral out of control because it took longer to complete than we first thought. Now, how did I come up with that floor price? Well, it's about supply and demand. At this point in time, that figure is the sweet spot between me having too many projects on, I'm priced too cheaply, and having no work on, I'm too expensive. With my current process, and we'll talk about that in a minute, my logo projects typically take about a month to complete, and I normally have at least 2, if not 3, running concurrently. So while I might be waiting on revisions from one client, I can be working on another project. So I bill accordingly to get the best reward for the time that I have available. Also, no two projects are priced the same because the stakes are never the same. A great logo for a bookstore doesn't achieve the same results that a logo for an advisory firm or a software company does. So the price is determined by the value that a great logo will bring to you. Thirdly, no templates, no cookie cutter solutions, and no copying anybody else's work. You're going to end up with a bespoke, unique logo that means something to you and a design that we're both going to be proud of. If you'll excuse the language for a second, no shit leaves the shop. I'll never show you a design that I wouldn't be proud to put on my portfolio, and to the best of my knowledge, and one of the hardest parts about my job, the design won't have copied anybody else's work. In fact, part of my process is reverse image checking the design to make sure that we're not treading on anybody else's toes, so the design is totally unique to you. And finally, I've done this a lot. You've probably seen the testimonials from my other clients. I get you involved in this process from the start. You're going to be really clear on any direction we're taking, which will mean no surprises along the way, and I have a famously good record of getting my work signed off really quickly. In fact, I've done talks about it, and that's because I make the process collaborative and, most importantly, fun. So at the end, you're going to end up with a logo that not only ticks all the boxes of great logo design, it'll also be unique, timeless, it'll separate you from the competition, and you're going to be proud of it. This is your business we're talking about, right? And your logo is most likely the first impression people will have of you. So it has to look trustworthy. And I can help with that. So if that sounds good to you, let me know the budget that you can work with, and let's have a chat. I can't wait to work with you.